Hey Jeff, welcome to the MasterCard Cup. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let this play on through. We'll put you back in your dress position and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So I got you back here in your dress position. Let's take a look at your setup. We can see here that your spine is a little bit rounded through here. Your legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Your arms hang down, are held a little bit out in front of you, and then the club works out to the ball. So from this vantage point, if I were going to work on your golf game, I would get you to sort of throw your tail out and up, throw your sternum out, up, and forward. And what that's going to do, it's going to straighten your spine for you. From there, you keep your legs in the nicely unlocked position that they're already in. And then we want to get your arms to hang down so your hands are a little closer to your thighs and let the golf club work out from that vantage point. So we want to increase the angle relationship between your forearms and the golf club right in there, okay? Because right now you're just pronate in, holding the golf club a little too far out in front of you, and this could inhibit your ability to create wrist hinge during the golf swing. From here, taking a look at your alignment, we can see that your feet are maybe just a hair closed, not too bad. Feet run out towards the fairway. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet, and parallel lines on camera would have an appearance to converge. So with that philosophy, we do see that you definitely are set up down the right edge of the fairway. So we're going to have to see some form of a compensation where we're trying to get that ball back to the center. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison between you and Jordan Spieth. As Jordan initiates his takeaway, he creates good shoulder rotation, brings his arms and hands back as well as the club. We basically want to see the golf club traveling back directly along the red line, which means the club is coming back on a proper swing plane. Also, in the early stages of the golf swing here, we want to incorporate some wrist hinge into play, where we're going to transition the club head from being below and in front of our hands to getting that club head above and behind. Very important move in the takeaway here that needs to occur. From here, we're going to work the golf club now from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we want to have either the left arm and the club situated on the yellow line, anywhere in between the blue-yellow V zone, or even physically up on blue, as we see with Jordan Spieth. We also want to create full shoulder rotation. We want to do this about a very stable right leg while maintaining the posture and the spinal axis that we achieved at address. With your takeaway here, we can see that you draw your hands back. We can see that the hands are very stiff-wristed with the golf club due to that reaching and pronation. We don't see the club head moving above and behind the hands just yet. So there again, we can see that there's not really a lot of wrist hinge, and that's why the club is moved a little bit underneath and inside the swing plane. Right here, hopefully we get a little bit of hinge in the plane. The club starts to recover. We also see your right arm folding considerably, so you're pulling your right tricep in towards your rib cage, and that's causing a lot of compression into your core with your arms, and your arms are therefore breaking down. When we finally get to the top of the backswing, we can see that you've turned well, pretty stable right side, a lot of unnecessary action or activity in the lower body with the left leg. We don't need to be bringing the left heel up off the ground and moving the leg like that. The lower left side should really just respond to the fact that we've rotated and not do anything specifically independent. We also see that the arms have broken down considerably, and we also see that you're quite tall, so you've sort of moved up in your spinal position here and haven't really rotated off that axis. So if we bring it back down to address, we can definitely see that you initially achieved more tilt. Even though you were rounded, as we said, at least that angle was much better. So you don't want to create this upward move as we're bringing that golf club back. The whole idea behind setting the posture is that we set it and then we rotate on that axis and we stay on that axis. So we can see Jordan at address, his spinal position is there, he rotates, and it's still there. Okay? From here, as we create our transition back into the golf ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left. We want to fire our knees and our hips laterally to the target, unwind the core, and fire the hands. And in doing so, we want to make sure that we're bringing the golf club from the blue-yellow V zone, wherever we set the club, and bringing that club back down onto red, which is where the club originated. And that's exactly what we can see here with Jordan Spieth. The golf club has returned back to being on plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. Refer to this as the backwards check mark. It simply means that the club head right now is remaining above and behind the hands coming into the hitting zone, and this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing, let alone his ability to hit the ball straight due to the fact that, again, the club has returned back to plane, which is a main criteria in producing straight golf shots. With your transition back into the ball from your sort of compressed position, you can see your hands definitely coming over the top, being pushed from yellow out towards blue, and that's going to have a major influence on where that club head is going to travel. So at this point in time, we can mark the club head here. We can clearly see that the club is not returning close enough back to plane, and as we go ahead and continue to track that club head coming into the ball, that club's just going to move further in front of you and ultimately get stuck outside of the golf ball. So if we connect the dots here, we can get a pretty good visual as to what that descending plane of the club head was, and due to the fact that over the top move is causing this club to come in very steep. As we can see with the left side of the screen, Jordan Spieth's club again returned back to plane here. That would be your frame right about here, and then with Jordan, what we can see is that club simply comes into the golf ball directly from this red line. And as I stated earlier, again, this is what produces straight golf shots in accordance to our alignment. Lastly, assuming club face squares up via having a good grip. So at this point in time, we can see that the downswing planes are vastly different. So we can go ahead and track the club head now through its path, and we can see with Jordan, his club is inside the ball, expanding out to make contact, and moving through on a nice natural subtle arc. Your club is stuck outside the ball, dropping down and across to make contact. So very simply put, if we square the club face up to that path, obviously what would happen is we're going to pull the golf shot way to the left. Now in your case, this is your compensation. So again, we're trying to hit the ball at the red flag. We had already discussed that you were set up to hit the yellow flag, right? So we go back to your address position. We had already pointed out that your feet were in a closed stance over here. Parallel lines have an appearance to converge. You're set up to hit the yellow flag, so therefore, when you get to the top of your backswing, you're making a compensation by coming over the top, and you're swinging that club along the red path to try and pull the ball back to the red flag. Okay? Now, if we happen to over-release the club to this path, not only will we pull the ball, but we'll pull draw or pull hook the ball, and the ball's going to go too far left on us. If we leave the club face too open, then we'll just sort of hit a bit more of a pull slice or a block slice, and if we time it properly, the ball will stay somewhere down red, and maybe with, not maybe, but obviously with either a pull straight shot or a subtle pull draw or subtle pull fade resembling the blue and yellow arrows, but just not to that extent. At impact here, we can see your right heel off the ground. Let's see what you do all the way through, see if you carry on with that footwork or not, and you do, and you carry yourself through a really good finish. So that's great. I do want to bring you back down to impact here and just sort of get a sense of what your club face did with this out to in path. And we definitely see the club face squaring up there. You might even also top the ball a bit. Yeah, you have sort of, I think you top the ball. I think I see the ball hitting the ground. I can see a little bit of a divot. I don't know if that's your club head or the ball that's done that. I believe it's the ball. So the ball has hit the ground right there, and then just sort of jumping forward. But looks like the club face squared up. Looks like you're pulling the ball back to the left for sure. We can see the ball heading in that direction, and then like I said, depending on what that club face does, will be indicative of what happens to the end result of your golf shot. So quick little summary. Let's improve that posture. Tail out, chest up. Draw the hands a little closer to your thighs. Increase the angle relationship between the arms and the golf club. From here, obviously, three most important things to be consistent are good aim, good downswing plane, and a good grip. Unfortunately, we're aiming too far out to the right. We're coming over the top with our hands here, as we can see, and we're trying to pull the ball back on line to the left. And then at that point in time, it really depends what the club face is doing. Okay? Anyways, if at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects of your golf game, I'm located over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to structure a little program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, you're looking for a unique gift to provide your guests, feel free to touch base. I'd be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, again, hope you had a wonderful day, and hope you enjoyed seeing your swing on video. Take care.